Thank you so much, Melanie. Thank you so much, Melanie, for hosting. This is beautiful. I'm so excited to be somewhere with actual people. My name is Zoe Dove-Manny. I'm standing in front of this. I'm a brand strategist and designer, and I would like to talk to you about how to tell people what you do so that they remember and they tell all of their friends. So, what do you do? Can I see a show of hands? How many people struggle to answer this question? Anyone? Yeah. When someone asks me this question, I kind of feel like this. Like there's a spotlight on me, and like I'm not really sure what to say, and it's kind of I just like put on the spot. Kind of like a stage fright feeling. So can I see another show of hands? How many people answer this question and you get a look? Anyone? Thank you. Some of you might say, I'm an entrepreneur. But when you say entrepreneur, the person you're speaking to could be thinking any of these things. All of these people are entrepreneurs, right? So we have Steve Jobs, who's a tech visionary. We have Misha Farzadeh, who's a jewelry designer in Texas. We have Martha Stewart, who owns a media company, television personality. We have this guy who makes wooden boats in Wyoming. His name is Tom. They're all entrepreneurs doing really different things. So some of you might say, I'm a software engineer. Or some of you might say, I'm a Laravel and Vue.js developer. But unless you're speaking to someone who is familiar with Laravel and Vue.js, they might be hearing something more like this. We all know building a profitable business relies on having a strong network. But if our message isn't clear, our audience can't remember it. And if they can't remember it, they can't tell their friends. So how many people are we not reaching just because our message isn't clear enough? You know right away when you've lost them. The conversation stalls, topic changes, and the opportunity to connect is gone. So saying our title doesn't really tell our audience who we serve or why they should care. I want to introduce you to my friend Archit. He was also my client. You might even know him because he's a member of this little Facebook group. And Archit hired me to figure out who he was reaching and what his message was. So he had an existing business. He had like a thriving business with existing clients, and he was having a low conversion rate on his website. So he wasn't quite sure who he was talking to and what they needed to hear. And when people asked him what he did, his answer looked like this. We support CPG and e-com companies in their digital customer acquisition, sustainably growing their business through performance marketing. We use a test and learn framework to drive businesses forward, executing across Facebook, Instagram, Google, and Amazon. So, what's the problem with this? Can anybody tell me what Archit does?
Facebook, Google, and Amazon.
We have a couple yeses. Who would you refer to him? So the answer is accurate, but it's a little tricky to wrap our heads around, I think. And we don't know who would you refer to him? Would your uncle understand what Archit does with that explanation? Or what about your bowling buddies? Let's say you're on the receiving end of this statement. Unless you already work in CPG or e-com, you might not know what these words mean. And you might hear something like this. Essentially, it's jargon. So let's try Archit's answer to what do you do without the jargon. You're a digital marketing firm. So this seems a lot clearer, but it's missing something. How is it relevant to me, the audience? Why should I care? So when someone asks you what you do, what they're really asking you is, who do you serve? And what difference do you make in their lives? So let's break this down and focus on who Archit serves first. Archit and I did a deep dive workshop. We made a client persona. If you don't know what that is, it's like a concrete example of who the audience is. And we based his off of a real client named Misha, who you saw earlier, the jewelry designer. So Charlotte's doing pretty good. She's got a team of 6, making a lot of jewelry. She wanted to grow her company, but she didn't know enough about marketing, and she did not have time to figure it out. So, who do we serve? We help business owners. So let's see if we can get a little more specific. We made a customer portrait of Charla, and yeah, these photos are not all of the same person, but they're meant to represent an idea of a person. And we asked ourselves, what does Charla want? What was at risk for her? And what kinds of problems was she facing? And of all the problems that she had, this was the biggest one that she faced. So who do we serve a little more specifically? We help time-strapped business owners. So why is this important? This makes it easier to refer people. If you just say business owners, how many business owners does the person on the other end of this conversation know? They might not know who to refer you to, but they might be able to name a few who are time-strapped and want to grow. And now that we know who Archit serves, let's take a look at the difference that he makes to them. So, remember this. Archit and I boiled it down to this: carry out a step-by-step marketing plan. So, we help time-strapped business owners carry out a step-by-step marketing plan. And we have who we serve, what we help them do. But what effect is it having on Charla's life? What's the impact? Well, we knew she was passionate. That's why she started her company. And we knew she had a fear of letting down the team if she couldn't pull in enough sales. So who do we serve and what difference do we make to her? We help time-strapped business owners carry out a step-by-step marketing plan so they can operate from a place of passion, not fear. Before and after. Archit tested this with a group of his clients, and it was really effective, but we thought we could dive deeper and make it a little more impactful. The one issue that I have with this statement is that the problem that we mentioned at the beginning is not being addressed with the reward. They're not quite lining up. So I took another crack at it. We help time-strapped business owners carry out a step-by-step marketing plan so they can get back to doing what they love. The solution addresses the problem. Before, after, and after that. So, how can you use this information to answer this question? There are some great frameworks out there that can help you with this. This is Donald Miller's Story Brand. I highly recommend it. This is Jonathan Stark's laser-focused positioning statement. I also highly recommend it. I am a discipline who helps target market with expensive problem, unlike my competitors' unique difference. And both of these are awesome. But in the moment when someone asks us what we do, we can feel put on the spot. This is me, by the way. And we're trying to remember these formulas and frameworks and elevator pitches. And what we saw with Archit's example is that this is not a hard science. So all these frameworks address a single mindset, and the one thing that I want you to take away here is that it's a pretty simple set of questions. Who do you serve, and what difference do you make in their lives? So the next time someone asks you what you do, imagine that these are the actual questions that they're asking you. And you can shift that spotlight from yourself onto who you serve. When we start from this mindset, we start to form real connections with the people around us. And because those people understand and connect with what you're saying, they can remember it. And they can tell their friends. And because you told them who you serve, they know who to share that with. And the next time you tell someone what you do, you can see less of this and more of this. So, as I said at the beginning, I'm a brand strategist and designer, but that might not mean anything to you, depending on what your background is. So, if you ask me what I do, I'd say I help clean businesses spread the word so they can grow without getting stuck in the mud. So this process is iterative. I would like you to remember, you don't always land on the perfect one-liner instantly. And a good exercise to help you is to tell someone what you do, ask them to repeat it back, and then write down whatever they say. Because whatever they say is probably going to be more simple and more clear than maybe the jargony thing you've got going on in your head. So after our knowledge share, I would love to meet each and every one of you and learn about what you do. Thank you.